This is an educational video that everyone needs to know about. What you are looking at is a picture of a news conference. Citizen hearing on disclosure, the official testimony, and the people that you are seeing, I will explain what they're doing and when they did it. On April 29th through May 3rd, at the Press Club in Washington, D.C., the citizen hearing on disclosure was held. It was streamed worldwide on the internet, but most people were unaware of the event and the caliber of witnesses and their testimonies. The U.S. government, military, abduction researchers in 10 countries, 40 witnesses in all testified, we are not alone in the universe. Repeat, we are not alone in the universe. It was meant to be a worldwide news conference. It is available from Stephen Bassett at citizenhearing.org. Dr. Stephen Greer was a medical doctor at South Carolina Medical Center Trauma Center and has now devoted his professional life to educating all of us to know we are part of the visitations he has experienced himself. Every picture, every video that you will see on this video are the real people. This is a documentary. This video is a documentary on what we're all supposed to be taught, and no one is teaching us. That's why this video has been made. This is something I really need to talk to you about. I really need your help. These people below know exactly what I mean. Everything is different now. Dr. John Mack, a psychiatrist from Harvard, perished in 2004. Dr. Stephen Greer in the center is still very much operational on this whole project. Jim Sparks has had innumerable experiences with people that are from another planet. Next picture is John Lear. He has done a number of experiences with the extraterrestrials. Dr. Mary Rodwell is a woman that helps bring to life the new human being. George Casavalis has had innumerable experiences. These people are, most of them are alive today. Dr. Roger Lear on the left. He has removed implants from people that have been visited. Stephen Bassett, who is an organizer for this whole project, not mine, just the whole idea. Jordan Maxwell, another researcher. Stan Romanek's been abducted many times. You're going to hear from all these people on this educational video. Marshall V. Summers had enormous amounts of contact with people. Carrie Cassidy, she has a website called Project Camelot. She has interviewed many people that have been abducted, even been aboard UFOs. Her partner sometimes is Bill Ryan, who has had abduction experiences and many other things. Alex Collier, there's just too much to talk about with him. There's too much to talk about with all of them. And Simon Parkes is from the UK, and he just recently divulged that he is, I guess what you would say, has had sexual relations with alien people. I'm hesitating here only to let you digest what you just saw. And now I'm going to switch gears and tell you what I have experienced. This is an introduction for you to meet God before you die. That does mean you really have to want to meet with God and learn why you were given life in the first place. Have you heard the expression, ask and you shall receive? Well, this is your golden opportunity to do exactly that. Ask what to do for a perfect life, and you will receive that information. That means God has let it be known that if you really want to live a perfect life for you and your children, where nothing goes wrong, because you will only be taught God's perfect system. You have to prove to God, your Maker, that you realize what you are asking and being offered. And you want your Maker to know that you know this is for real, and you have decided to do whatever it takes to do exactly what God has made for all of us. You have to prove to your Maker that after all these years of doing someone's version of what God created, you will show up and take an ongoing class in God's perfect laws. How will you know this is for real? Exactly the same way you know God would never make 200 versions of how to live His perfect laws, which is what we are all doing now. There is only one perfect, and you will see it demonstrated first in front of you, and then by you. But you have to tell people it will never work unless everyone does it. How does a car start? When everything is in place and working properly to start the car. We take that for granted. The battery does not have 200 versions of working. The almost funny part about this offer from God is, He gave you everything to be perfect, and no one told you. What do you do with people that withhold perfect information? This. You tell them you can't do this without them. And you already know they have tried to compete with God, and whatever it takes, you want what they can't offer. The following is what we have been waiting for, that being someone that can tell us how to learn directly from God. God is the maker of us and all things in the universe. We want to know how to make His planet what God intended it to be for everyone. It is very believable that no one has ever asked for this because of man's ego wanting to run things. And now you see what individual ego has done when you look at the condition of the world. It is really good you are able to witness the condition and yourself saying, "No, thank you." Do you know what you are stopping? And do you know what you are starting? A new era where God is in charge. You should be very proud. You were born because of perfect laws that were in place because God made us and where we live. And before that, your parents were born because of the same laws. And their parents were born, and that law just keeps going on in our history. And no one ever thought about who in the world made all those perfect lives possible with such a horrible outcome as we have today. God gives us life, and then there are certain self-centered egomaniacs that want to control us and everything. And they make wars, famine, disease, persecution, and many other conditions that have nothing to do with the perfect world that God created. It is time we acknowledge why we are here and who made us, and show appreciation to God for the beautiful planet we live on. Let's take an example of our life as we know it. When you notice something has gone wrong in life, business or personal, or something else, if it's bad enough, you want to go to the boss. And maybe if the boss is the owner of where things have gone wrong, you need to let the owner know. You know you were made to make things right because he hired you to make his place what he intended for all of us. Did you know that Did you know that we only have one owner in this whole universe? And I think we will all agree it is God. In all the books ever written, have you ever heard of one of our so-called religious leaders tell us how to meet with God and tell him, quote, "Whatever it takes, God, we want to live in the world you created instead of the world some egomaniacs have created." Unquote. Being an egomaniac is a choice made up by man. We, being a creation of a perfect entity that also created everything known and unknown to man, we do not have a good history considering the perfection that made us. Even though God has given us Jesus Christ, Edgar Cayce, Buddha, and many other gifted people, I am sure you have heard of the horrible atrocities of the Christian Crusades. Possibly you have heard about people that can predict our future like Nostradamus. Have you heard about Edgar Cayce that had the power to heal the sick while he was asleep? I could go on, but the point of remembering all this is, who is doing anything about making sure the Creator is having his laws used by all of us? No one is. Not with 200 religions. That is a perfect definition or explanation of man's ego. And I know I'm reading all this and not looking at you, because this all came through me and I want to make sure I get it right. When you see the condition of our planet with 200 religions doing their version of God giving us life in the first place, that is an insult to the entity that gave us a perfect life. How does anyone give you 200 versions of the perfect system without people laughing? If it's a version, it can't be perfect. A version is man intervening in the laws of God. The laws are being modified to fit where we are and not helping us grow and be better. We call that entity God, and God does not need us to make up 200 versions of his perfection. You can call that power or anything you want, but now we have planetary neighbors showing us through demonstration what we can make possible on this planet. It is beyond absurd to think we should continue keeping our progress top secret. That is what the powers called government, military, and religions that we currently adhere to are doing. That means this is our new era. And that new era is making God's one system the perfection we need. When a big enough problem arises in any segment of our society, we want to go to the top man and ask, what do we do about this? That happens in business and in government and the military and other areas. We want the top man with all the education and experience to tell us what to do in certain situations. And sometimes people ask the top man, how did we get into these ridiculous situations? Sometimes the top man has been taught by people that helped to create the mess we are in, and we unfortunately think they are going to have answers that are brilliant. And we are surprised when they advise us to either look the other way or they say, there are no simple answers. Ladies and gentlemen, God's answers are simple because God created us to love. And since we aren't showing love to God, that is why teaching love is so important. You cannot possibly think that when we show God, we have modified His perfect laws 200 different ways. That is not us showing our love to our Maker. Who are we to modify God's perfection? But that is precisely what we are doing with 200 religions. God created you, and Jesus, His Son, tried to teach us to fit into everything our Father expected from us, while we participate in everything. On the following pages, you will learn that you are part of everything. You will feel like you have missed a great way to live, and you will learn you are right. The following is confirmed by Dr. Stephen Greer, MD. Man's agenda is over. Your appointment with God's agenda has arrived. You have received this video because the information included is so necessary to us as God's creation, and we know nothing about it. Currently, we know so little about ourselves based on our current system that we have no idea what our purpose is. The information needed has finally been received by demonstration that we are very uneducated of what we are here for. You are going to see a picture on the following page that was a news conference in Washington, D.C. that assembled many people that have been sworn to secrecy for many years because the people we pay to run our country and our military are not leaders. That is also true of other nations. I am starting a class in school called TEACH, T-E-A-C-H, TEACH, that will educate all of us about what it will take to finally know what we are supposed to be doing for our Maker. The picture you will see shows the many people that have first-hand knowledge of the universe that we should be part of. Those people have had experiences with the people or entities not from Earth that have been visiting them. The people in the picture have discovered we have an underground military and government, and they have seen to it that their power over us is maintained for their own agenda. Almost none of this is pleasant because it is about our lack of progress by not using God's agenda, and none of this information can be ignored by us. Nailing Jesus to a cross for being profound and teaching us His Father's world was a great lesson for all of us. Now, finally, we will see we cannot let that example be repeated. I was given this information since about 1978, much the same way the people presented here interact with our space friends without talking, which we call ESP. Every name you see and person you see is sharing their experience with us. They are the same people that have had their life threatened if they explained to us what they experienced. We need to come together for the sake of our Maker and learn why we were given life. You are invited to see many videos of their testimonies. They all speak for themselves. I am supposed to teach you the following and have you attend classes to become what God's intention was and is for the universe, because we are meant to be useful to our Maker. Killing our own people and many other horrific actions are not being useful to God. Why would a perfect mind want you to struggle with your talent when He gave you the talent to be successful for His plan? Your struggle is over. God's perfect plan cannot be run by fallible human beings. You will prove that to yourself. You are divine. Making love is a divine act. No one has taught you that until now. It really is up to you to learn and do what God has given to the man and the woman. The following are the people that have already started our transition from man's agenda to God's agenda. Each class of God's laws will show you both the wonderful people working to make the meetings with God possible, and will show you the egomaniacs we must stop. This is something I really need to talk to you about, and I'm repeating that, I know. I really need your help. Everything is different now. You remember these faces. You know these names. These are the people that have already started us. And now you're going to see something really disturbing. Now that here are the people I call egomaniacs and what they are doing. I will now introduce you to the categories of both what aliens have done to us and what certain people of Earth are doing to people as well on a daily basis. I call this list, "Here is the emergency we must band together for an intervention." These will be horrible to read, but you need to know what you must stop. God has nothing to do with these atrocities. Here is the emergency list and the need for an intervention. We have a secret government and secret military abusing children. You can see that on YouTube. You can see all of what I've said and what you're going to hear on YouTube. We have children being used for both sexual purposes and sacrificing. We have children in cages below the surface of the earth. We have a group called the Illuminati that runs us on this planet. We have agreements with people or entities from other planets to abduct our people. We have been lied to about our trips to the moon. We have pedophiles, which is adults wanting sex from children, in our government. We have pedophiles in our government. We have people being killed because they have revealed their experience about all the above. We have people being killed and eaten by entities from other planets and our own. We have abductions going on every day all over the world. We have people being killed and their bodies are being used as meat for us to eat. We have military personnel sworn to secrecy about what they experienced with UFOs. We have professors in colleges sexually abusing children. please contact George Grogan for our first class. WMS_Grogan@yahoo.com. WMS_Grogan@yahoo.com. My website. This is it. ThisIsIt.com. This is it. ThisIsIt.com. Everything starts with www. But remember, this is it. ThisIsIt.com. There is going to be much more to this, and some of the atrocities will be put on camera so you can see them for yourself. I'm 73 years old. I was introduced to this close to 7 to 8 years ago, and I just started following what some of these extremely intelligent people were doing, so far superior educationally. Well, Dr. John Mack, head of the psychiatry department at Harvard Medical School. He was interviewing people that had been abducted and taken into spacecraft. His picture will be seen. I can tell you about his books. When you have a medical doctor, Dr. Stephen Greer, telling us there's going to be big changes, because he's met with the people that are saying, do you know why we're here? They don't talk, but you know why we're here? You people are killing this planet. And God made it. And you're killing it. It's a living organism and you're killing it. That's not what we want to do. And thank you for listening. WMS_Grogan@yahoo.com. It will be on a website. It will be on YouTube. The rest is up to you. And here's the most famous line I could ever say. And I don't know who made this line up, but this is the most famous line in the world as far as I'm concerned. Now you know. Because it's not me that's telling you. As soon as you have a name, and you know the names from what this video, go to YouTube. Type in Dr. John Mack. Type in some of these people. And they finally have developed an attitude of they're no longer blown away by what's going on. But they certainly went through something themselves. Sergeant Peniston actually touched a UFO in Rendlesham Forest in the UK. And he is testifying to that fact at the National Press Club. Captain Robert Salas at the hearing was testifying that UFOs at a missile site, 10 Minuteman missiles, were all shut down completely, and a number of people had to sign non-disclosures that they will never talk about this incident. And he is finally opened up that he had to sign off on this something like in the 1990s, that he would not speak of this, and he has broken his silence. All 10 Minuteman missiles were down. And he said the only way you can turn them down is from inside the missile nose, and none of us have access to that, and they shut it down. Dr. Carla Turner explains alien abduction. Just recently, she has been, as I call it, taken out. She is no longer alive. If you type in Dr. Carla Turner explains alien abduction on YouTube, you will find this entire speech she made. Dr. Jonathan Reed with the artifact that he discovered in the mountain area of Seattle, Washington, where he was walking with his dog. This is something he found, and again, all you have to do is go to YouTube, Dr. Jonathan Reed, the link artifact video. Now I'll show you a picture of him. Be patient. Trying to find where the cursor, there's the cursor.
Responsibility and an opportunity to care for this device. It is something that is very sacred, and it is one of several that has been held in safekeeping around the world for over 60 years. I have talked with many of the other people who have found these devices, and now we know and are learning what the responsibility and what some of the functions are of these devices. Truly, truly, a technology that is so far advanced from anything that humans have yet to even scratch the surface of.
Dr. Jonathan Reed was a psychiatrist or psychologist, I'm not sure which, in the state of Washington, in Seattle University, and he worked with handicapped children. And he was in the forest walking with his dog. His dog sensed something and took out after it, and there was an alien that you will see when you go to YouTube. The whole experience he went through, and he is now living in hiding because his bank account was removed, Social Security, everything. His entire life changed. Why are aliens afraid of Jesus Christ? Real life story of a mother protecting her children while the room was filled with blue light and the aliens were there, and she kneeled down and started praying to Jesus, and they disappeared. With that title, Why Are Aliens Afraid of Jesus Christ? You can hear that on YouTube. One of the most powerful videos, by the way. I'll see if I can find the gentleman, and I think that's him there. No, it's not. Let's see if I can find the gentleman that does a speech on that. I believe that's the gentleman. As you see, I'm doing a very informal video.
I'm cleaning, and no one asked me to.
Okay. You're about to see an incredible presentation by, sorry, you'll see the gentleman in a moment. He did a conference, and he actually brought people up on the stage with him that did the same thing those women did. The aliens came to them, they knelt down and prayed to God and to Jesus Christ, and the name of the video, The Big Secret in UFOs, Jesus Stops Alien Abduction. Alien abductions, the whole truth. And there is the gentleman.
I hope this will be a special treat to you. I think you're going to hear things you've never heard before. First thing I'd like to do tonight is clear the air a little bit, and I'd like to also start off with thanking Pastor Bernie for allowing us to have this venue here at his church. We're going to start out by clearing the air a little bit. And I've done this at most of the conferences I've spoken at, especially in Roswell. And everybody know what this is? This is a shofar. The talk we put together for you tonight is Alien Abductions, the Untold Truth. Myself, Joe Jordan from CE4 Research Group, Guy Malone from Alien Resistance out of Roswell. Whenever I do this talk, I must give a warning. The following information may change your preconceived notions of the alien abduction experience. A lot of you have watched a lot of shows on alien abductions. You've read books on alien abductions. What we hope to show you tonight is information you probably have never seen. We've been trying to get this information out here for some years. We have a total combined research between the three of us of about 50 years. We worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases dealing with alien abduction. And what we want to do is bring those findings to you here tonight. So stay open to what we have to say. It will be challenging. You will have questions. We want to save the questions to the end. We're going to put this together in about 2 hours, 2 of us speaking. This will definitely raise more questions than we can answer in our 2-hour talk. But we will be open for questions here at the end for about 30 minutes.